Okay, we've watched a lot of B movies together, and I've got another good one for you. This one is 1944's Betrayed, aka When Strangers Married, directed by William Castle. Yep, that William Castle, and starring Kim Hunter, Robert Mitchum in his first noir film, and Dean Jagger. It's got everything. It's got a missing husband, an unsolved silk stocking murder, and this cute little dog named Junior. So, as always, let me give you a quick overview with no real spoilers, because there's a twist ending on this one, and you can let me know if it surprised you or if you knew all along exactly where this story was going. Millie is a young newlywed from Ohio on her way to New York City to join her salesman husband, Paul. Now, Millie and Paul, to put it lightly, have rushed into things.
You mean you only met this man 3 times and then married him? Mm-hmm.
But when she arrives in New York, Paul is not there waiting for her.
Mr. Baxter didn't get here yet?
No, he didn't.
And she has no idea where to find him. As luck would have it, Fred, an old flame from Ohio, is staying at the same hotel with his little dog, Junior. Fred, like Paul, is a salesman. And, well...
Paul apparently was a better salesman.
But Fred, seeing that Millie is distraught,
I'm terribly worried about Paul.
Takes his rejection on the chin and suggests they go to the police and file a missing persons report. While Millie and Fred are looking for Paul, the police are on the hunt for the killer of a wealthy businessman during a convention in Philadelphia. Paul was in Philadelphia, and through Millie's very vague description, very vague.
Well, who does he work for?
I don't know.
You have a photo?
No.
How was he dressed the last time you saw him?
Oh, he was wearing a dark suit with a white shirt and sort of a dark tie.
But you practically married a stranger.
Commissioner Gordon, Police Lieutenant Blake, decides that Paul Baxter is a person of interest in that murder. When Paul and Millie finally do reunite, the suspicion builds. Where has he been? What's he been up to? Why all the secrecy? Girl, your last name is Baxter. Why does it say more on the mailbox?
I use that name sometimes. Well, there was some sort of trouble in Philadelphia.
And as the police close in, Millie decides that Paul is innocent, and they disappear together into the city to stay one step ahead of the manhunt. Produced by the King brothers and released through Monogram, Betrayed is a Poverty Row gem made in 7 days, yes, 7 days, for $50,000. The film was a critical and box office hit. Orson Welles even said, "It isn't as slick as Double Indemnity or as glossy as Laura, but it's better acted and better directed than either." Okay, Orson, very brave, coming with the hot take. You guys can let me know in the comments if you agree with that or not. Director William Castle delivers some very strong atmospheric visuals here, with his use of lighting and shadows, and he makes the most of his skills to distract from the cheap sets and locations. And there are parts of the story that do seem to lag a bit, but the visuals on screen are always very interesting. Across the board, the performances are good. Dean Jagger plays Paul as a self-pitying and at times ambiguous figure. For most of the film, he keeps us wondering, is he innocent? Is he guilty? What's he all about? Looking at Paul, can I see what attracted Millie to him and led her to marry him after 3 days? Absolutely not.
It's almost as if you had married a stranger, isn't it?
As for Fred, in this early role, Robert Mitchum gives us a glimpse of the traits that would eventually define his unique style as an actor. This was something like his 22nd film in 2 years, and it was one of his biggest roles up to that point. You can see the charisma and the talent that he already possesses. You definitely see a star in the making. Kim Hunter's Millie may be divisive. You may be sympathetic of her wide-eyed distress, but I could also see some of you guys finding her too naive and too dopey to really be all that understanding of her situation. I usually call out the rushed nature of the endings of these films, but I think Betrayed does a good job of wrapping up its story. It doesn't feel too chaotic or tacked on, and there aren't too many loose ends left dangling. So overall, it's a nice little compact mystery that is strong on visuals, and its 77-minute runtime offers an engaging, well-paced, and nicely plotted story. So if you find yourself with a spare hour or so, I recommend you check out Betrayed. There are 8 million stories in the cinema cities. This has been one. If you want to check out Betrayed, there's a link in the description so you can watch for free. And please come back and tell me exactly your thoughts about that Orson Welles statement. I also want to give a shout out to my monthly supporters. And if you want some fun extra content like my podcast and early access videos, the links to my Substack and Patreon are in the description below.